Where is Manesseh? That's his name.
Manesseh, yeah.
Manesseh. It's gonna be a Thavo Thavo situation, I swear
It's
to
gonna
God.
be that.
Manesseh? How do you say it?
Manesseh.
Manasseh. Okay. So it's like the second Manassas, but Manasseh. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've gotta freaking do an old man voice, and I gotta make it good. I gotta
Old
freaking...
man!
No, not that! That's been done too many times.
Alright. Where would you like to start? We have to end up in Clivis, but where would you like to start?
Actually, he's going to start in Clivis.
Okay. Epic.
Because that's where the last journal entry took place in.
Mm-hmm.
It is the 20th of Skull, 50 Ragna. And he is standing in his room. Just finishing that last page, and I'll give you the character description I wrote.
Okay.
He's a 5'6" man who wears a deep green cloak with less leather armor, more a leather bodysuit underneath the cloak. Studded leather. He wears simple clothing and such. As he's an older gentleman, he has a wrinkled face. See a picture of a 68-year-old with gray stubble on it. Top of his head is covered with slicked back gray hair, and the sides and back of the head are shaved gray hair. His eyes are brown. He is clearly aged, because he's clearly old, but he looks like he's aged gracefully.
Mm-hmm.
And is it good if I play ambience or no?
Oh, I was gonna put some in if that's alright.
No. Then you do the thing. You're the DM.
Thank you for the reminder, because I was like, oh.
He sighs, closes the journal, puts it in a backpack on his back, sits on the bed a minute. Now it is time for me to practice my voice.
Oh boy.
Well, I better get moving. The days aren't going to pass by easy now, are they? That wasn't too quiet, right?
Nope.
Well, claps his hands together, looks at the floor a minute. I've got to get resources. Seeing as I have... Why am I talking out loud? Whatever. Seeing as I have the resources of my entire retirement fund, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it well. I'm going to need resources. Many resources. I haven't really looked around much in Clueless. Except for the temple. Maybe a couple shops. I best get up and look for shops. The room is like dimly lit with the Clivis day, where the window is like sort of half open.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a couple candles on. As he walks out, the candles all extinguish.
Nice.
And he walks downstairs into the tavern. Which tavern is this now?
That is a good question. Do you want me to figure out one, or do you want to?
I mean, is your city?
Okay. We'll say this is the Theros' Overwatch Club.
The what now? The
Theros Overwatch Club.
okay. He goes and he just walks downstairs. Looks around. Is there anyone in the tavern?
Slow night. Slow night. A couple drunkards sitting at the tables. Bartender's just cleaning out a pint.
What drunkards are they?
Just a couple I almost said humanoids. Just a couple humans. Honestly, they look early 20s, and they're just passed out, wiped out on a table.
He kind of looks over at them, looks down on them, pauses for a second, keeps moving. Who's at the door? Into the town of Clivis.
It's a... Let me get something. It's a nice time. Nice time, yes. And then 1 second, I need to not talk until I get this ready. Okay, there we go. The rain has finally stopped. After, this is actually the day it stopped. The town has had a new rejuvenation, as it seems. People are finally out setting up their tables outside, their their little shops. What would Manesseh like to do?
What are the nearby shops called? What are the names?
Well, one exactly across the street from this is Yenna's Mythical Magical Emporium.
Yeah, I'm going to need to go there.
Okay.
He gets up and he just walks over and opens the door.
Ding, 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 ding. Hey, we got some guests! As you see a pale green half-orc woman run up. Hello, darling. I'm Freya Willowwalker. How can I help you?
He says, I just like to look around before I do anything.
Okay.
Thank you, though. He gets up and he looks at the shelves, which I remember from last time are pretty barren.
Yeah. We haven't gotten much, but you see it's mostly filled with just uncommon items. So if any uncommon item you would like, it's probably there.
Little do you know.
Huh.
He looks around and then he sees another deep green cloak. It's kind of got like a almost just a little metal on the hood. He's like, that'll do. How much is it?
This is the Cloak of Protection, right?
Yep.
Yes. I think that'll part you with 25 gold.
25? Huh. He hands over the 25 gold and takes it.
Okay. This is the last one.
Thank you. So he kind of like, he doesn't avoid the woman, he just doesn't quite make eye contact with her.
Okay.
It's like more like looking at her face instead of looking her dead in the eye. He walks over, he sees these beautiful shoes, the slippers of spider climbing, which It's such a freaking good magic item. My goodness. Okay. It says, ma'am,
Yes.
I'd like to buy these as well.
Okay. Dude, they look like Crocs.
I'm gonna flavor them to look a little more like boots, but yeah, that's basically what they are.
Okay.
I buy a pair of Crocs for 400 gold.
These will part you for about 10 gold.
Ah. Okay, well, he hands over the gold and puts on the shoes.
Okay. I will say that I disagree with a lot of the 50 or so 100 to 500 0 to 500 price tags for uncommon items, so I lower them down to 0 to 100.
These are, I'm just hand waving the gold spending because these are mostly the stuff, you know, I just get.
Right.
I'm gonna have my page open. Okay. And he says, he said, is there like a chair in here?
Yeah.
He sits down and kind of stares into space for a minute. What have I seen that's good? What have I seen that's good? What's practical? What's practical? I know perfectly what's practical. Ma'am?
Yes?
May I get a ring of spell storing?
I'm afraid we're all out of those, but I can get you a shipment in 4 days.
Any extra cost? Sorry, gotta do the voice. Any extra cost?
I'd say an extra 10 gold on top of the already. What? I presume that's in. Oh, it's a rare. Okay.
Yes, that's the rare magic item.
Right. One moment. This one will have to put you back
200.
Yeah, around 200 gold pieces.
I'll pay in advance. He takes out the 200 gold, 210 gold, hands it over.
Thank you. It should be waiting here in a P.O. box with your name on it.
Thank you. That would be Manesseh. My name is Manesseh.
Right. She writes it down.
So he kind of like half smiles and says, "Have a nice day, ma'am."
You too.
And walks out the door.
Okay. Where would Manesseh go next?
He looks more for like a general goods store.
Okay. So like a... I was at the supermarket, but yeah, basically like a supermarket.
Like a supermarket, but for like items, yeah.
Yeah. You find, you kind of walk around for a while, kind of looking for a central hub for something like that. And at the Painful Eight park, they've set up a whole kind of like market of sorts. Just how like a pop-up farmer's market would end up just being somewhere. It's just like yeah.
Cool.
It's bustling.
He almost smiles to himself and says, "Yes, yes, that's what I want. That's what I want." And he goes in, and he gets. And I'll read the stuff I have bought in my inventory with my own with the gold.
Okay.
40 caltrops.
Okay.
2 flasks of oil.
All right.
4 flasks of acid.
Oh my.
And that's it.
Okay. Heck yeah. As you're walking through the the market, you find a little pamphlet. Oh, sorry. I'd rather say a woman walk up to you holding a pamphlet. She has pink hair, and she says, "Hey," she's an elf with pink hair. "Hey, can I bother you for a second?"
Sure.
You look like somebody who's not content with their life. Am I right? Sorry if that's a little rude.
How can you tell?
I guess I just have a good eye. She hands you a pamphlet. and on the
Sure,
pamphlet,
why not?
And on the pamphlet says, "Start a new life. Have nowhere to go? Are you running out of luck? Start a new life by joining the Ravens today." So she probably couldn't tell, but she's just reading off of the pamphlet.
I'm a 68-year-old man.
We can take anybody and anything. I mean, we're desperate. I'm desperate. I'm Astra Verdant, by the way. She raises her hand to shake.
He kind of like apprehensively shakes hands. What would I do the Ravens Legion other than go fight the Hari, which I don't really.
Oh, if you don't want to go fight the Hari, you don't need to go fight the Hari, especially at your age. She doesn't. It looks like she doesn't mean that. She doesn't mean it in a mean way. But
Okay. Why not? Why not? Let's do it.
Really? Okay. Cool.
I'm hired.
You have to do an interview process first. And that's down at the Dragon's Breath Inn. Tell them Astra Verdant sent you.
Would he have any knowledge of Astra Verdant from before this?
Just became general.
Why is it general going around and campaigning to get recruits?
Just doing my part. Just doing my part.
You really are desperate, aren't you?
Maybe.
I'll take it. I'm going. And he gets up and he starts walking toward. Wait a second. He stops after he starts walking. What part of town is that in? I'm not from here, you see.
Well, it's let me go to Clibus. Well, it's down in Shorthorn. it's a little bit of a posh district. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. I'll do that. That's fine.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, she kind of just seems really proud with herself.
Am I your first recruit today?
Maybe. I've had a lot of no's, and why are you talking to me today? So,
Oh.
kind of glad. Thank you.
That's just how the way how the days go.
Would Manesseh like to do anything else before heading down to the Dragon Breath Inn?
Is that the end of the session or no?
No.
Okay. He kind of plays with something that doesn't actually exist in his hand, the little prestidigitation thing, which I really need to freaking use a lot. Cause, yeah, I gotta get my money's worth out of that. Well, he just makes his way slowly.
Okay. So you make your way into the Dragon's Breath Inn, or make your way down to the Dragon's Breath Inn. It takes you a little while to find it in Shorthorn, but it's a pretty large tavern, and you enter, and inside, where there would be a whole array of tables, there is only but one, and only a single figure sitting at it, facing the door. Please describe, Jake.
Howdy. So you see what looks to be a slender humanoid figure who has a cloak pulled up, and a iron mask. You see a set of about 7 holes in a honeycomb pattern where the mouth should be, and the eyes appear to have glass over them. There's no real nose to this mask either. It's very plain. The clothes seem to be commoner clothes, and it's just a brown cloak. And as you get down to the arms, they appear to be made out of a bronze with cloth at the joints. You can't see any inner working mechanisms. Moving down, everything appears to be pretty normal until you get to the legs. And if you've ever seen jump stilts, it looks like that. Or the second closest approximation would be, do you know what the prosthetic looks like for someone who's lost their leg at about the knee?
Yep.
That would be my second closest approximation. I can send you a picture though. Copy. Oh. Copy image. I will send this to you, Brian. Never mind. Later. And he's sitting there with a bow staff leaning up against the back of his chair. And a notebook and pen and ink. Right there where he's sitting, or would be sitting. He's standing right now, and he gestures to the chair in front of him and sits down.
The fellow you see that walks into the, because you need the character description, that walks into the inn is a 5'6" human. He wears a deep green cloak with less leather armor, more like a leather bodysuit beneath the cloak. He wears simple clothing and such. As he is an older gentleman, he has a slightly more wrinkled face. Look up a picture of like a 68-year-old. With gray stubble on it. The top of his head is covered with slicked back gray hair, and the sides and the back of the head are shaved gray hair. His eyes are brown. He's clearly aged, but it looks like he's aged more gracefully.
All right. Do you sit down with me?
He's gonna take a better look about the room before he sits down. Can I roll a perception check?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's new.
Yeah.
That's a 13.
13. It looks like this place has been cleared out for this particular purpose. Nobody but the person at the table is in there. It looks well cleaned. Honestly, this would be a nice tavern to be at if it was operational. Is there anything in particular that you were looking for?
Other people, exits, windows, that sort of thing.
I'd say it is quite filled. There's probably the entrance that you just came through, then the kitchen exit, and then a back door.
I notice him doing this.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
They're all unlocked.
Say it again.
They're all unlocked.
I see.
Does he sit down yet? If he doesn't, I still have an option.
He just stands there for a second and says, alright. Walks forward, sits down and kind of coughs a little. Hello.
Greetings. Would you please state your name, age, and race for the gender? For the
Record?
I have to actually look at the line for this one. Would you state your name, race, and age for the record? Would you state your name, race, and age for the record?
Before I do so, the Ravens accept people from outside of Cliffus.
I am not from Clivis myself. I have joined.
Oh, I see. That'd be more of a logistical problem for them. It's not my problem yet.
What do you say?
That'd be more of a logistical problem. Sorry. That'd be more of a logistical problem for them, I suppose. Well, I am a human. I am 68 years old. Born in the 484th year of the Levin. My name is Manesseh. Manesseh Lamhus.
Do you have that? Are you able to spell that out?
Do you want me to DM that spelling?
Yeah.
Okay.
And just as a rule for this session, my character and I, for the first time ever, write at the same pace and in the same style. So any writing you see me doing is actually happening in character.
Okay. What else do you want?
Well, we'll continue on. Where do you hail from?
Do I hail from?
Yes.
Callisto.
I need to readjust my screen again. I'm sorry. There we go. We fixed all the problems, hopefully, by now. For now. To whom do your allegiances lie?
Closest thing I've got to an answer is the Astrum.
What can you bring to the company?
I don't really know, but I can do a meager sum of magic. I don't know how, but I just can. Some would call me a sorcerer. I don't know if I'd call myself that anymore, but as you can see. And he... What, is there like anything on the table?
Besides
There's
a
a lamp.
candle, yeah, that's about it.
He kind of breathes in, and the candle just snuffs out.
You see.
Breathes out, candle reignites.
Oh.
And I can I can do this if it's worth anything. He can't. He's kind of starts something, then he waits. I am allowed to use magic in this building, correct?
To my knowledge, there's not been a ban on magic in Clivis yet, so have at it, as long as I am not hurt.
I don't think you will be. And he raises a finger and then points it at the candle, which is now extinguished again.
Hmm.
And from the door comes a firebolt, which heads right to the candle, ignites it, then disappears.
You just see the head, because you don't see any eyes, by the way. They're just green plates of glass set into the mask. You just see the head track it until it hits the candle, then return to its writing. What are your greatest strengths and weaknesses? In one word each.
That's a deep question.
It doesn't have to be. Someone said unstrong. Ryan, you'll be able to guess who said that, I think, once we get into the campaign.
Strength, experience, weakness, age. As you can clearly see, I'm old. I'm not much use in melee combat.
Are you willing to give your life for the greater good?
Why not?
It has been so fun to interview these characters. I just wanted to say that. What is greater? The pen or the sword?
He kind of leans back in his chair, stares at the ceiling.
You just see well, if you notice it, the mask glances up to the spot you're looking, and then back down to his notes.
I don't know. Both are important, I suppose.
How do you define loss?
Depends on the situation. Could be not winning. Could be not concede. Could be not realizing your goal. Can be many things. Why all the questions?
The thoroughness for the Ravens.
What exactly would I be doing for the Ravens?
At present, you'd be assigned to a company, and that company is given. The company is the. Oh gosh, I'm slipping on my words. That company is given direction by a higher up. I believe this company will be working on an assignment outside of Clivis.
Who's the higher up?
At present, General General Verdun.
Oh,
That's
that
right.
woman I saw.
I've said this before.
Yeah.
I've been thinking it's a mistake, but I'm too far into it now.
No, you're good.
What is it you said, Brian?
Oh, Mr. Dan. You're really on hard times, aren't you?
Since the quarantine, your guess is as good as mine. How do you define victory?
Kind of stares off for a second again. Two answers come to mind. Two answers. Success and living to fight another day.
Or do you see yourself in the time frames of? And you actually see him hold up his hands because I've had so many people confused on this. 5 years, 10 years, and 25 years.
5 years, 10 years. I'm gonna make a note of this.
So, if you need me to repeat it, it's where do you see yourself in the time frames of
Yeah,
5
years, 5 years, 10 years, 25 years.
Exactly.
I don't know. Five years. Maybe I'll retire. 10 years, maybe I'll retire. 25 years. 25 years, I'll probably just be dead. Think about it, I'd be 93. It's a ripe old year, isn't it?
True. You said that put you at 93?
Yeah, 25 years would put him at 93.
Do you have combat experience?
I guess I do. Some, that is.
You see him write that down, set his ink coil down, look up, hold his hands over his notes, and say, "Do you have any questions for me?"
Why the mask?
It hides things. Or I'm an automaton.
Well, I know it hides things. Any simpleton can know that, but... I'm sorry. I'm letting my temper get the best of me. Who would I be signed up with?
At present, I do not know. This company is still in the interviewing process. We're a newly formed division.
What's our goal? What's our goal outside of Clivis? What are we doing?
There are a number of assignments. The reasoning for inquiries on combat effectiveness is we don't know the stability outside of Clivis or in the locations that this company may be arriving, which at this rate may be across Dateria. It could be humanitarian at some points, or it could be combative directly.
Just here, yeah. Kind of, again, sort of spaced out for a minute there. Then he comes back. He looks the mask and next man in the face and says, Are you winning the war? Are you losing? People don't hire old men for a war they're winning.
I gotta think about this.
Yeah.
Now you see the masked man take a second, and he doesn't change the position of his head, but you can't see where his eyes are. I have to change the position of my head though.
He just says, bingo.
If you want me to be honest with you, I don't know. I haven't left the walls of the city in quite a while. It could all be on fire. It could be all raining, frozen over, or bodies everywhere. To my knowledge, I'm given an assignment. I am to notify individuals of what that assignment is, and I'm also to recruit individuals.
This is Syria. They're going to be dead. Many dead.
You actually see him nod, understandingly. That is the trend.
Well, will we have frequent contact with the ranks outside? of
Ours
our
or theirs?
company. The ranks outside of our company. Each company. With other companies and the leaders, other people.
This is to be a highly individualized company. If we see any additional companies, it is unlikely that contact may even be made. Did I say? What did I say? I meant whatever I said. I meant to say individualized company.
Yeah, you said that.
Is
Okay.
it that? What about you? You just a recruiter?
I believe I am to be giving these interviews, and then I will be joining you. But if I'm assigned elsewhere, then so be it.
Very well.
Okay. I presume that would be the end of the meeting then, right? Unless you have anything else.
And he says, right, how are you going to contact me?
It's a good question, Jamie. We never really worked that out.
No.
I just assumed that.
Please return in such and such. How many days? We'll say like 3.
Return in 3 days to 1 day. Is the next interview also today?
Yeah, I'd say all the interviews have been in this day. Yeah.
Oh, this is 1 day's worth of stuff.
Yeah.
Return tomorrow. You'll find out if you've made it.
Ah,
Tomorrow, right? It's not 1 day space.
No,
it's not today
tomorrow.
space.
It's tomorrow.
Okay.
say. No, you can't answer that. Well,
If that is all questions answered, have a good day. He stands up. Well, did I stand up for the others? I sit down. He just gestures towards the door.
Does Manesseh take it?
he looks at the door. He looks carefully for a second and says, "Ah, very well." And the candle extinguishes, and it's almost as if the table's a little colder at this point. He gets up and he walks out.
I can't feel it.
And then he looks back and says, "Do you want me to close the door?"
That would be opportune.
A little bit of wind trickles in as he closes the door.
You don't see it, but I'm gonna pull some matches out, strike one, and relight the candle.
So is there anything else Manesseh would do? If not, then that would be the end of the session.
He goes back to his room and he writes in his journal.
Okay,
That is the end of the session.
cool. Nice.
Is this the 23rd of